Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It has been an honor and indeed a privilege to welcome to Sri Lanka the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Turkey, Honorable Mevlüt Çavuşoğlu. I hope I got the name right.
Very close.
The visit is significant as this is the very first visit by a foreign minister of Turkey to Sri Lanka. In fact, I'm confident that over the course of this visit, we will build a solid foundation for a new chapter in our bilateral relations. In fact, we have just concluded a very productive discussion and just signed a memorandum of understanding for cooperation between the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Turkey and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Sri Lanka on diplomatic training, exchange of information and documentation. Greater interaction between our foreign officers would certainly pave the way for stronger ties in all spheres of cooperation between our two states. Your visit, Minister, comes at a very significant time. The present government is rebalancing Sri Lanka's relations with the international community based on the spirit of openness. And also, you have come at a time when Sri Lanka is moving forward based on a new future, based on democratization, reconciliation, and development. Turkey has in the recent past renewed its ties and cooperation with Sri Lanka in the spheres of trade, commerce, and investment. Let me say that our government is committed to further strengthening our long-standing partnership. The Turkish side was also briefed on the steps being taken by the government of President Maithripala Sirisena to promote human rights, reconciliation, and to strengthen the accountability process as part of our government's overall objective of ensuring good governance. Discussions were also held on development cooperation. I extended Sri Lanka's appreciation for generous assistance given by Turkey for priority projects in collaboration with TICA, the Turkey International Cooperation Agency, the president of which is also here in Sri Lanka with the foreign minister. Turkey has undertaken a housing project in Mana and has built 50 houses as the first stage at a cost of $300,000 to be implemented by the Organization for Habitation and Resources Development. The Turkey International Cooperation Agency has expressed willingness to finance priority projects and capacity building programs under their grant assistance in accordance with the Sri Lanka Development Framework. We have also discussed the possibilities of closer economic cooperation. We are keen that our trade turnover should increase in the coming years. We also want to encourage more Turkish investors to take advantage of the economic opportunities here in Sri Lanka. Economic and technical cooperation between the two countries have been strengthened by the signing of the Agreement on Economic and Technical Cooperation, which came into effect in 2007. We will soon hold the second meeting of the Sri Lanka-Turkey Joint Commission on Economic and Technical Cooperation. With a view to further enhancing and intensifying relations through financial cooperation, a MOU between Sri Lanka and Turkey will be signed in the near future. Under this MOU, Turkish Exim Bank will allocate a credit line to the amount of $350 to the Sri Lankan government. I'm confident that the regular high-level interactions at all levels will certainly pave the way for a stronger relationship between Turkey and Sri Lanka, which will in turn benefit our countries and our peoples. Later today, Earlier today, Minister will call on President Maithripala Sirisena, and immediately afterwards he will also be holding discussions with Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe and other ministers. I'm confident that these discussions will pave the way for our two countries to understand our priorities and to find ways of taking our close and friendly relations to greater height. I wish you, Minister, and your delegation a very pleasant stay in Sri Lanka. Thank you.
Dear Foreign Minister Samaraweera, dear friend Mangala, first of all, for your kind invitation and for the warmest hospitality you extended myself and my delegation that we have been enjoying very much since we arrived to Sri Lanka. And I would like to reciprocate your hospitality in Turkey. Therefore, let me extend my invitation for your visit to Turkey in the nearest future. On this occasion, my dear friend, I wish to repeat Turkish people's condolences for those who lost their lives in the recent flood in Sri Lanka. Maybe Turkey and Sri Lanka are geographically distant countries. However, geographical distances do not prevent our cooperation in many areas and fields that you mentioned in your statement. Sri Lanka is extending its helping hand to Syrian and Iraqi refugees in Turkey. This is very much appreciated. It is meaningful and symbolic. And Turkey stands by the people of Sri Lanka in the times of natural disasters. Today, I reiterated that Turkey will continue standing with Sri Lankan people in good days and in difficult days. And our countries, with their diverse and rich cultures, are examples of living in harmony. And we welcome your government's efforts to strengthen the reconciliation in Sri Lanka. And we are dedicated to strengthen our friendly relations and enhance our cooperation. There is a huge potential to explore in a wide spectrum of areas. And today, in our meeting with Foreign Minister Samaraweera, we touch upon every aspect of our bilateral relations. And we agreed that we can further develop our economic relations. We also decided to increase our cooperation in the fields of energy, security, culture, tourism, agriculture, education, and health. Humanitarian issues constitute an important part of our relations. Turkish Cooperation and Coordination Agency, TICA, established a village of 100 houses for IDPs in Sri Lanka. And as you mentioned, the president of TICA, Dr. Serdar Cham, also among us. And TICA is ready to continue supporting the development projects and also humanitarian assistance in Sri Lanka. Today, we just signed an MOU for cooperation between our two ministries on diplomatic training, exchange of information and documentation. Besides, we exchange views on some regional issues, but we agreed to continue discussing the regional issues at the dinner that my dear friend is going to host us. Sri Lanka is located a very strategic geography. Therefore, security and stability of Sri Lanka is so important for this region and beyond. I believe that my visit today will open new phase in our bilateral relations. President Erdogan is also willing to pay a state visit to Sri Lanka within this year. And I wish to thank you once again, my dear friend, for your kind hospitality and for the fruitful discussions we had today. Looking forward to be received by Prime Minister and also Speaker of the Parliament interparliamentary relations is also important between two countries.